How do you explain the law in the plan you explained to us?
Phase one, I got to motivate America, right? To understand that they were duped and lied to by certain individuals at the FBI to believe that the shots were safe and effective, that the election was safe and secure, right? When Elon Musk does that at scale and proves the individuals behind it, specifically by state, in Pennsylvania it's going to be Boockvar, the Secretary of State at the time, that was part of the censorship industrial complex to stop people from exposing her corruption. And then when people see that, oh wow, Ivan Raiklin was right all along. And here's the direct messages and communications of it. Then normal critical thinkers are going to be like, well, the election system hasn't changed. How are we going to fix it? That's when the political will is then presented for the state legislature to take the bold move of remedying the illegal election. Phase one, education. Phase two, Elon Musk pressure. Phase three, understanding that we have to fix the electoral system using the constitutional framework we have. Number four, it stops the electoral heist. Simple. And then retribution. They deviate even slightly from the legal process, they will receive maximum consequences. And even if it's our own Department of Justice, if they get involved in that, they will get consequences as well. Letitia James, what did she do? She just set our precedent. Alvin Bragg in Manhattan, what did he just do to our district's attorneys? He just set our precedent. What did Fulton Fatty, what did she do? Did she just set our precedent? She did. Thank you, Fulton Fatty. What else? What about law enforcement? As soon as these DAs in the red districts decide to go ahead and go after these folks, they call on a sheriff to execute the arrest, also known as a live stream swatting raid, right? Just like they did to Roger Stone, right? Great precedent. I love that precedent. What did they do to Steve Bannon? Great precedent. What did they do to Peter Navarro? That is fantastic precedent. And if you're a member of Congress, Jamie Raskin in Maryland, we're going to set the precedent that you set on Scott Perry here in Pennsylvania when you conducted armed robbery of his digital devices using the FBI. The precedent's been set. And oh, by the way, if it's a local sheriff, right, then you probably want to follow the precedent set by Lila Morris of the Metropolitan Police Department. You know what she did? She brutally beat to death on January 6th an unarmed peaceful election steal protester known as Roseanne Boylan on January 6th. That was considered objectively reasonable. Well, we can do objectively reasonable at scale to the 600 people on my list. Okay?
You have a list?
I do. It's called the Deep State Target List. You are either part of the solution or part of the problem. And I get it, you have people you got to work for, but you can make a conscious decision, you yourself, Zach, on whether or not you want to carry the water for the misinformation, the censorship industrial complex, or if you kind of like look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm going to be like Catherine Herridge, and then expose the truth, and then take the consequences based on what I do. Or you can be like Tucker Carlson, or you can be like Russell Brand, or you name RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Stand on principle, because if you stand on principle, it creates a domino effect, and then we can start to debate the minor issues that we disagree with. If we can't debate them, this thing's done. Like, this country's toast. Because if you don't allow somebody to air their grievances, it marinates and it gets beyond 273 Kelvin. No one wants that. But that's what they're trying to do. The Jamie Raskins of the world said it. He said he wanted civil war conditions. I don't want civil war conditions. I want Jamie Raskin and his wife, Sarah, to be held to account maximally without political violence. Okay? He's advocating for political violence. I won't deliver it. I will deliver him maximum accountability. Synonymous retribution. Landy, you ask every single person, it's legal, moral, ethical. That's it. Always. It'll be painful for those, though, that end up receiving the consequences. I get it. Shouldn't have performed treason. Milley's already publicly with Woodward. You saw that?
What's that?
General Milley. So General Milley just, what is it? The Telegraph just published yesterday, or maybe even, yeah, I think yesterday, that he's afraid that he's going to be recalled from active duty and court-martialed. General Milley. Why do you think that is? Why is he conveying to Bob Woodward that if Trump wins, he's concerned that he's going to be called from active duty and be court-martialed? I'll tell you why. He was one of the key leaders on January 6th in the run-up to work with Nancy Pelosi, the Sergeant-at-Arms Paul Irving, who used to be also Paul Ryan's Sergeant-at-Arms, along with Secretary of the Army Ryan McCarthy, to run the Fedsurrection, meaning the deliberate non-protection of the Capitol to facilitate the breach, to flip the narrative to an insurrection, and then use the impeachment hoax 2 with the impeachment managers, Jamie Raskin being one of them, and the January 6th cover-up committee to continue to promote the insurrection narrative with their media allies, to include faux news, because Paul Ryan totally complicit in the whole scheme. If you want details on that, I've got a 3-hour deep dive with receipts on my Rumble channel with Alpha Warrior that goes in all that, and I'm probably over the next few days going to continue to expose that.
Okay, I gotta